Joe, September 17th, the one-year anniversary was this past Saturday. Needless to say, it's been a whirlwind year.
Coach Godowski and I were just in Buffalo with the Pegulas and had dinner with Terry in his office up at the Buffalo Sabres arena. And the whole time, Guy and I are just kind of looking at each other saying, how lucky we all are, how fortunate that, he is as passionate about Penn State and passionate about hockey, and that he and Kim support what we're doing here. And, it was an amazing couple of days with them. We got pretty much full access to the Sabres training camp and, their staff, sharing a lot of ideas with Coach Godowski, and then, me getting the tour of they're completely renovating all of their locker rooms and equipment room and, all of their training, strength training, et cetera. So it was a great opportunity for us to put our hands on some things that we're looking at in the Pegula Ice Arena.
Are you surprised with what has transpired in college hockey? Obviously, a major change in the landscape with the Big Ten Conference, really, I guess, the catalyst. But, I remember talking to Paul Kelly at College Hockey Inc. about that, and he said that change was probably going to happen at some point in time anyway. Yeah,
and all you need to do is look at what's happening in football, basketball, conference realignments right now. You could have a great discussion, I think, if you put everybody in a room and lock the door. It'd probably look like the Continental Congress, because, you're going to have a lot of people that are arguing, why are all these traditional, conferences falling apart, whether it's hockey, football, basketball, whatever. And at the end of the day, some people think it's all about greed. Well, that's not it. It's not like people are walking away. That's what it costs to run all these athletic programs. And schools are looking out for their best interest. And if it means having to shift to be with more like institutions, that's really what's driving it. In hockey, as you know, there are a lot of Division I hockey programs that are actually Division II and III schools who are playing up in terms of hockey. And it's a stretch for some of them. And that's not to say that they shouldn't continue to be able to do it, but that's a choice that the institution has to make. In our case, this is a great opportunity. I mean, the Big Ten Conference is going to be just so popular. With the Big Ten Network now reaching, well over 100 million homes in U.S. and Canada alone. The exposure is phenomenal. So, for us to recruit a kid, we can recruit a kid from anywhere in the U.S. or Canada, and there's a chance that their mom and dad are going to be able to watch them on TV. And, I think, again, being with like institutions academically, we all, have the same footprint, makes a lot of sense as well. And I think also geographically, some of the things had to happen as well. Again, I know people don't like change. A lot of people don't like change, but when you look at it, Hockey East sprung up out of nowhere. The CCHA, the WC, they've all been through different. None of this has been constant. You had the College Hockey America, on the men's side, you had the MAC. Now you got Atlantic Hockey. So I think, as the environment changes, especially financially, everybody has to adjust. And, unfortunately, it doesn't always, make the most sense to the fan who's used to it being a certain way. But in the long run, at least from Penn State's perspective, from the Big Ten's perspective, this is going to be a great opportunity for all of us to have this Big Ten Conference.
With the changes, the one school that a lot of people are looking at that may be on the out permanently is Alabama Huntsville. And, of course, there is a history between Penn State and the Chargers going back to the old days of the pre-ACHA days in club hockey. It would really be a shame for that program, the only Division I college program south of the Mason-Dixon line to fold.
Yeah, I lived that, Steve. My senior year, we lost to Alabama Huntsville in the semifinals of the national tournament. Actually, a very good friend of mine, Kevin Monaco, who played there. I grew up with him in Pittsburgh, and is still very active in that Huntsville area with youth hockey and coaches high school hockey in that area. It would be a shame if that indeed happens. But at the same time, it gets back to, somebody's got to be willing to reach out a hand and say, we'll help you out. They've had a change in their president. They've had a change in athletic directors. And it's a shame because, like you said, there was a time when Alabama Huntsville's hockey program, they'd get 6,000 people at every game. Financially, it was doing just fine. But now, not being in a conference hurts them quite a bit. And, so I don't know. I don't know if they're going to survive this shakeup that's coming. But at the same time, we've added a program. Minnesota State at Moorhead is looking at adding Division I hockey. And there's other schools talking about it. Whether or not they're going to actually do it or not. So much of the landscape of athletics is changing. I mean, where Notre Dame ends up is going to impact so many other programs in so many respects. And I worry because, there's a part of me that, and I'm speaking only for me personally, certainly not Penn State, I would love to see Notre Dame in the Big Ten for a lot of reasons. I think it makes sense football, basketball, hockey-wise. And I think everybody's got to, calm down and be reasonable. Because if Notre Dame does end up in the ACC, it doesn't help us hockey-wise. We'll play Notre Dame one way or the other. We want them on our schedule. Just like they play Michigan and Michigan State and Purdue every year in football. It to me, having Notre Dame's brand in our mix somewhere just makes sense. I don't get to make that call.